Today, we're diving into the intense aerial standoff between India and Pakistan, an event that's been labeled by some headlines as the largest dogfight in history. But that title doesn't quite hold up. Let's unpack what actually happened in this dramatic exchange involving over 125 military aircraft. At first glance, it might sound like a chaotic melee in the skies, but in reality, this was a highly structured and tense air engagement that never crossed the line of control, the disputed military boundary between India and Pakistan in Kashmir. Instead of a close-range, Top Gun-style dogfight, what we saw was more like a high-stakes missile standoff from either side of the border. Pakistan claims it brought down 5 Indian jets, including 3 Rafales, a Su-30 MKI, and a MiG-29. India, on the other hand, denies losing any aircraft and says all their pilots made it safely back to base. So who's telling the truth? Let's go back to the trigger point. On April 22, 2025, a devastating terrorist attack took place in Indian-administered Kashmir. Just weeks later, on May 7, India launched Operation Synindor, targeting what it called terrorist training hubs in Pakistan-administered Kashmir and parts of Punjab. In response, Pakistan claimed that civilian infrastructure was hit, including mosques, and reported over 30 casualties. That led to the high-alert standoff and a colossal air encounter between May 6 to 7, with both sides mobilizing their top-tier jets. Now here's what makes this incident stand out: the engagement remained within national airspace. That means neither side's fighters physically crossed into enemy territory, likely to avoid an incident similar to what happened in 2019, when an Indian pilot was captured after being shot down over Pakistan. The tech involved: India fielded its elite Rafale jets, which likely carried precision-guided cruise missiles. Backing them were the multi-role Su-30 MKIs and the older but still formidable MiG-29s. These jets, depending on loadout, could have been carrying R-77 air-to-air missiles, potentially engaging from as far as 70 nautical miles, although the exact capabilities are classified. The main goal: launching long-range strikes against specific ground targets, not getting tangled in a traditional dogfight. Pakistan's response included deploying JF-17 Thunder, J-10C, and possibly F-16s armed with Place-15 and AIM-120C missiles. The Place-15 is a long-range Chinese missile rumored to reach up to 100 nautical miles, although export versions are usually downgraded. The AIM-120C has a shorter but still potent range, possibly over 30 nautical miles. What really happened? Pakistan's air chief reportedly released audio from one of the Indian formations, allegedly capturing the flight lead trying to reach their number 4, with no response. Shortly after, the pilot is heard saying something like, "I see an explosion in the sky." This could point to a jet being destroyed, or simply a missile self-destructing midair, which happens when it misses its target or runs out of fuel. That's not uncommon in these types of engagements. India maintains that no pilots were lost, and all aircraft returned safely. If any jets were hit, they may have gone down on Indian soil, and parachuting pilots would still be counted as returned if recovered safely. Why no dogfight? This wasn't a furball. It was a high-altitude, long-range standoff, similar to a red flag exercise but real and much more dangerous. In night conditions, with night vision goggles (NVGs) and strict deconfliction procedures, actual close-in combat would have been highly risky, increasing chances of mid-air collisions, G-force blackouts, or even accidental friendly fire. Fighter formations would have flown within assigned altitude blocks to avoid overlap. For example, Rafales, Block 25 to 30, Su-30s, Block 31 to 36, MiG-29s, Block 20 to 25. Staying inside launch envelopes while avoiding enemy fire is a massive tactical challenge, especially without crossing that invisible but very real line of control. Final thoughts: if Pakistan's claims of shooting down 5 jets are true, and those pilots survived, that's a best-case outcome for a worst-case scenario. And if no jets were lost, as India says, then perhaps the systems on both sides did what they were meant to: deter without destroying. Let's hope that this doesn't escalate further. But with tensions this high, we'll be monitoring the skies for the next flashpoint. Coming soon, a full breakdown of a hypothetical full-scale India-Pakistan war, force composition, strategy, and what a major escalation could look like. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to stay updated and drop your thoughts below. See you in the next video.